Jesse was kicked out of the business by Mr. White. In a fit of anger, he picked up a stone and smashed Mr. White's car. Little did he know that he had already been targeted by the DEA agents, and they had even found the RV in which he made drugs on the surveillance footage from a gas station. However, after keeping watch for a long time, Hank still couldn't find the whereabouts of the RV. It was his wife who reminded him that Jesse used to be Mr. White's student, and he could ask Mr. White if he had any clues about it. In order to solve the case, he immediately called Mr. White. When Mr. White heard the other party asking about the RV, he was so shocked that his scalp went numb. As soon as Hank mentioned it, he knew that Jesse had been targeted by the DEA. There was evidence of him and Jesse making drugs in that RV, and it must never fall into the hands of the police. He immediately called Jesse, but as soon as the call connected, he quickly hung up. Since Jesse had already been targeted by Hank, his phone was surely being monitored. The most urgent thing was to destroy the RV, and it seemed that he had to take matters into his own hands. He went to the auto repair shop, found Jesse's friends, and told them what had happened. When they saw the renowned Heisenberg auto repair shop, the boss didn't dare to be the slightest bit negligent. He immediately contacted the junkyard and prepared to destroy the RV. After the two left, Skinny Pete called Jesse and said that Mr. White was going to destroy the RV. Jesse mistakenly thought that Mr. White was trying to cut off his means of making a living, so he rushed out and headed for the junkyard in a hurry. Hank saw Jesse going out and quietly followed behind. When Mr. White saw Jesse, he stood there in a daze. It seemed that this guy didn't realize the danger at all, and now they were in big trouble because the DEA would surely follow. Sure enough, Hank's car had blocked the exit. Mr. White quickly locked the car door from the inside and then covered all the windows. Jesse seemed to realize something. He looked out of the window and was instantly stunned. Only then did he understand Mr. White's good intentions, but it was too late now. Hank had already come to the door. He knew that Jesse was inside, but he would never have imagined that his brother-in-law Mr. White was also there. He told Jesse to come out and surrender, and it could still be considered a voluntary surrender. Otherwise, his crime would be aggravated. Seeing that there was still no response from inside, he fetched a crowbar and tried to force the car door open. Fortunately, at the critical moment, the boss of the junkyard rushed over when he heard the commotion. Hank showed his police ID, but unexpectedly, the boss wasn't impressed. He asked Hank to show a search warrant. Hank just sat in his car and stared at the RV, telling his colleague to bring a search warrant over in case they tried to do something fishy. As time passed by, Mr. White didn't want to just sit there and wait for trouble. He immediately called Saul and asked him to find a way to get him out. Soon, Hank received a phone call saying that his wife had been in a serious car accident and was now being rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. When Hank heard that his wife was in trouble, he didn't care about the case anymore and immediately drove to the hospital. Little did he know that this was all part of Mr. White's scheme. The person who made the call was just an employee of Saul's. As soon as Hank arrived at the hospital, he received a call from his wife. Only then did Hank realize that he had been tricked. At the same time, in the presence of Mr. White and Jesse, the RV was crushed into a flat piece of metal. Although the evidence had been destroyed, Jesse had completely enraged Hank, who directly broke into Jesse's house.